How many years of your life are you willing to trade for the illusion that you're handling it? That's the question nobody asks when they're staring at that credit card statement at 2 a.m., scrolling through numbers that don't add up, feeling their chest tighten with a shame so deep it doesn't even have a name yet. You tell yourself it's under control. You tell yourself minimum payment means breathing room. But here's what you don't see coming. Every month you choose that option, something inside you ages faster than your body ever could. It's not about the money anymore. It's about what the debt takes from you when nobody's watching. The way it carves lines into your soul before it ever touches your face. You wake up tired. You go to bed guilty. And somewhere between those two moments, you stopped believing you deserved anything better. The debt isn't just growing in your account. It's growing in your bones, in the way you flinch when your phone buzzes, in the split second of panic before you swipe that card, wondering if this is the time it gets declined in front of everyone. You've become a prisoner of the minimum payment, and the worst part? You don't even realize the sentence keeps getting longer. Each month you survive is another month you don't actually live. The debt is aging you from the inside out, stealing decades of emotional energy while you convince yourself you're just buying time. But time isn't what you're buying. It's what you're losing. And it's happening right now, in the silence between heartbeats, in the space where your future used to be. You keep telling yourself next month will be different. Next month you'll pay more. Next month you'll get ahead. But next month never comes, does it? It's always this month, this same suffocating month that repeats like a loop you can't escape. And with every cycle, something drains out of you. Energy you used to have for dreams. Confidence you used to carry into rooms. The version of yourself that believed things could actually change. The debt doesn't just sit there on paper. It breathes. It feeds. And what it's feeding on isn't your bank account, it's the years you thought you had left to figure this out. Every minimum payment is a small surrender, a quiet admission that you're not winning, you're just surviving. And surviving isn't living. It's treading water in an ocean that keeps getting deeper while you pretend you can see the shore. Hit subscribe if you've ever felt like your financial decisions are aging you faster than time itself. Because what comes next isn't easy to hear, but you need to hear it before another month disappears. The truth is, the system isn't designed for you to escape. It's designed for you to stay exactly where you are, exhausted, ashamed, and too paralyzed by the weight of it all to do anything but click pay minimum one more time. You're not stupid. You're not careless. You're trapped in a machine that profits from your desperation, and every month you feed it, it takes another piece of what used to make you feel young. Not young in age. Young in spirit. Young in the belief that your life could still go somewhere beyond this endless cycle of debt and dread. You've started to notice it, haven't you? The way you can't enjoy anything anymore without calculating the cost. The way a dinner with friends feels like a financial crime. The way you avoid checking your account because ignorance feels safer than knowing. That's not financial stress. That's emotional erosion. That's your soul getting older while your body's still trying to keep up. His name doesn't matter. Could be anyone. Could be you. He's 32 but feels 50 inside, like something vital got extracted from him without permission, without anesthesia. He works full-time, sometimes overtime, and still can't explain where the money goes. It just vanishes into the void between paycheck and bills, swallowed by a system that convinced him minimum payments were a strategy instead of a slow-motion surrender. He remembers when it started. A car repair he couldn't afford. Then a medical bill that insurance laughed at. Then groceries on credit because the account was empty 3 days before payday. Small things. Survivable things. Except they weren't small and he didn't survive, he just didn't die. He adapted. He learned to live in the space between broke and broken, convincing himself that paying the minimum meant he was handling it, that he was being responsible, that he was buying himself time to get ahead. But time doesn't work that way when you're drowning. Time just becomes the thing that measures how long you've been under. Every month the statement arrives like a judgment he can't appeal. He opens it with the same ritual dread, scrolling past the purchases he barely remembers making, landing on that number at the bottom, the minimum payment due. And every month he pays it. On time. Like clockwork. Like a good debtor. He tells himself this is what adults do. This is what responsibility looks like. But somewhere in the back of his mind, behind the rationalization and the exhaustion, there's a whisper that sounds like the truth. You're not paying off debt, you're paying rent on your own life, and the landlord's never letting you out. The shame hits in waves now, unpredictable and crushing. He'll be standing in line at the grocery store, card in hand, and suddenly he's drowning in it. The awareness that he's one declined transaction away from public humiliation. He'll be out with friends who casually suggest hitting up that new spot downtown, and he has to calculate in real time whether he can afford to pretend he's okay. Most of the time he can't. Most of the time he makes an excuse, laughs it off, goes home alone where the shame can't be witnessed. That's the worst part. Not the debt itself, but the performance of being fine. The constant theater of acting like everything's under control when inside he's screaming. His credit card company sends him cheerful emails. "You're doing great," they say. "Keep up the good work." And for a second he almost believes them. Almost feels proud that he's never missed a payment, never been late, never defaulted. But then he looks at the balance and realizes it hasn't moved. 6 months of perfect minimum payments and the number is basically the same, sometimes higher because interest is a living thing that grows faster than his ability to kill it. That's when the guilt really sets in. Not guilt over spending, guilt over existing. Guilt over needing to eat, needing to drive to work, needing to fix things when they break. Guilt over being human in an economy that punishes humanity. He started avoiding mirrors. Not because of how he looks, but because of what he sees behind his own eyes. A tiredness that sleep doesn't fix, a defeat that success can't erase. He's aging in a way that has nothing to do with birthdays. Every minimum payment takes a year off his emotional life expectancy. Every swipe of that card carves another line into his soul. He can feel it happening, this erosion, this slow transformation from person into debt vehicle, and he can't stop it because stopping means confronting the size of what he owes, and confronting that feels like staring into an abyss that stares back with his own face. The anxiety is constant now, a low-grade fever that never breaks. It's there when he wakes up, before he even opens his eyes, this electric dread humming in his chest. It's there at work, making it impossible to focus, turning every task into a distraction from the real problem he can't solve. It's there at night, keeping him awake, forcing him to calculate and recalculate scenarios that all end the same way, trapped. He's tried budgeting, downloaded apps, made spreadsheets, cut back on everything that used to make life feel like living. No more coffee runs. No more spontaneous anything. No more pretending money is just a tool instead of the cage he lives in. And still the balance grows. Still the minimum payment stays the same. Still he's getting older inside while the world keeps spinning like nothing's wrong. His friends don't know. His family doesn't know. He's gotten really good at hiding it, at smiling through dinner, at nodding along when people complain about problems that sound quaint compared to the weight he carries every single day. He's become fluent in the language of fine, mastered the art of seeming okay when okay is a country he can't even see from where he's standing. There are moments when he fantasizes about what it would feel like to be free. Not rich, just free. Free to check his account without panic. Free to say yes when someone invites him somewhere. Free to believe he has a future that isn't just an endless repetition of this present. But those moments don't last because reality always comes back, usually in the form of another bill, another unexpected expense, another reason why this month won't be the month he gets ahead. The debt has become his identity. Not officially, not on paper, but in the quiet privacy of his own mind where he started to believe he is what he owes. He's a number with a person attached, not a person with a number following him. And that shift, that internal collapse of self-worth into net worth, is the real theft. The debt isn't just taking his money. It's taking his belief that he's worth more than what he can pay. It's taking the part of him that used to dream, that used to plan, that used to think life could be something other than survival. He's being hollowed out one minimum payment at a time, and the cruelest part is that he's complicit in it. He's the one clicking the button. He's the one making the choice. Except it doesn't feel like a choice. It feels like the only option in a game where all the other options disappeared before he even learned the rules. Then one night, staring at the screen with that same sick feeling in his stomach, something clicks. Not a solution. Worse, a realization. The minimum payment isn't delaying the debt. It's feeding it. He's not buying time, he's selling it. Every month he pays the minimum, he's making a transaction he didn't understand when he signed up for it. He's trading years of his life for the privilege of staying trapped. The interest isn't just a percentage. It's a parasite. And he's been the host for so long he forgot what it felt like to have energy that belonged to him, dreams that weren't suffocated by spreadsheets, mornings that didn't start with dread. The debt is alive. That's the part nobody tells you. It breathes. It grows. It has an appetite that compounds monthly, feeding on more than money. It feeds on the person you were supposed to become. Every minimum payment is a small sacrifice of future self to present survival, and he's been making that sacrifice so long he can't remember what he was saving up to be. He does the math for the first time. Really does it. Not the surface math of can I afford this month, but the deep math of how many years until I'm free. The number that comes back isn't a number. It's a life sentence. At minimum payments he'll be paying this off into his 50s. his 50s. He'll have spent his entire youth, his 30s, his 40s, the decades people are supposed to build something, just servicing debt. Not eliminating it. Servicing it. Like he's the one providing a service to the credit card company, which he realizes with a clarity that feels like nausea. He's been working for them this whole time, not for himself. Every hour of overtime, every skipped meal, every canceled plan, it all flows upward to an entity that doesn't know his name, doesn't care about his life, only cares that he keeps paying just enough to never escape. That's the design. That's the trap. The minimum payment isn't a bridge to freedom. It's the bars on the cage, and he's been polishing them, maintaining them, believing they were protecting him from something worse when really they were just keeping him exactly where the system needed him to be, desperate enough to keep paying, hopeful enough to never quit. The shame transforms into something else. Not rage exactly. Something colder. Recognition. He's been aging himself. Voluntarily. The debt didn't force him. It just made the alternative look impossible, made the minimum payment look reasonable, made survival look like strategy. And he bought it. Bought the lie that he was handling it, that he was being smart, that paying something was better than paying nothing. But paying the minimum isn't paying something. It's paying everything that matters, while the balance barely moves. His youth. His energy. His belief in himself. All of it converted into interest payments that disappear into an algorithm he'll never see, enriching people who'll never know they took the best years of his emotional life and turned them into fractional percentage points on a quarterly earnings report. The humiliation isn't about the debt anymore. It's about the realization that he participated in his own imprisonment. That every choice that felt like survival was actually surrender. That the debt didn't trap him, it convinced him to trap himself. He thinks about all the months. All the minimum payments. All the times he felt that small spark of accomplishment for being responsible, for paying on time, for not defaulting. And he sees it now for what it was: conditioning, training. The debt trained him to be grateful for the privilege of staying in debt. Trained him to feel proud of making his captors richer. Trained him to believe that the exhaustion, the anxiety, the constant background terror of one unexpected expense destroying everything, that all of that was just adult life, just how things are, just the price of existing in this economy. But it's not. It's the price of being caught. And the minimum payment is what keeps you caught while making you feel like you're doing the right thing. Is genius really? Evil genius. Create a system where the thing that feels responsible is actually the thing that destroys you slowest, so you never fight back, never stop paying, never realize you're not a customer, you're livestock. The debt isn't just in his account. It's in his spine now, the way he carries himself. It's in his voice, the way he apologizes for taking up space. It's in his eyes, the way they avoid contact because eye contact requires believing you're worth being seen. The debt has colonized his sense of self, replaced his identity with his balance, turned him into a walking reminder that he owes something to someone somewhere, and that debt is more real than any dream he ever had. And the cruelest part? He still has to pay next month. This revelation doesn't free him. It just makes the cage visible. He'll still click that button. Still make that minimum payment. Still trade another piece of his diminishing soul for another month of treading water. Because what else can he do? The debt doesn't care that he finally understands how it works. The debt doesn't care that he's waking up. The debt just wants its payment, and it'll take it from whatever's left of him. Drop trapped in the comments if you've ever paid the minimum and felt yourself age a year in a single transaction. I need to know I'm not alone in this. Keep watching, because what comes next is the part they never want you to figure out. This is what they don't tell you when you sign up for that first card. They don't tell you that debt isn't just a financial condition, it's a spiritual one. It gets into your bloodstream, rewires how you see yourself, recalibrates what you think you deserve. You start small, telling yourself it's just temporary, just until you get back on your feet, just until that next raise or that next opportunity. But temporary becomes permanent so gradually you don't notice the shift. One day you're a person who has debt. The next day, and you can't pinpoint when it happened, you're a person who is debt. The distinction matters. It's the difference between carrying something and becoming something. And once you've become it, once your identity has fused with your balance, every part of your life gets filtered through that lens. You don't just owe money. You owe your existence an apology. You walk through the world like you're taking up space you haven't paid for yet, and maybe if you just work harder, sleep less, want less, need less, maybe then you'll have earned the right to exist without this constant guilty pressure in your chest. The debt ages you because it steals the one thing you can never get back, the present moment. Every experience is split in half. Part of you is there, at dinner, at the movie, at the park with your kid. But the other part, the bigger part, is somewhere else, doing math, calculating consequences, wondering if this moment of joy is going to show up on a statement next month as another reason you're still trapped. You can't be fully anywhere because you're always partially in your debt, living in that mental space where numbers scroll endlessly and none of them ever mean freedom. That's the erosion. That's the aging. Not lines on your face but cracks in your presence. You become half a person, and the missing half is being held hostage by a balance that grows faster than your ability to human. People talk about debt like it's a practical problem. Get a better job, make a budget, cut expenses. But they're not looking deep enough. Debt isn't a math problem. It's an existential one. It changes what you believe about your place in the world. It makes you smaller, quieter, more apologetic. It teaches you that you are the sum of what you owe, and since you owe more than you can pay, you are worth less than zero. That math doesn't live on paper. It lives in your nervous system. It becomes the lens through which you interpret every interaction, every opportunity, every moment of potential happiness. Could I afford this? Should I be doing this? Do I deserve this? And the answer the debt has trained you to give is always no. The worst part isn't the balance. It's the time. The sheer amount of life you've lost to this. Hours spent staring at statements. Days consumed by anxiety. Weeks where you couldn't focus on anything that mattered because the debt was screaming louder than your ambitions. Months where you worked yourself to exhaustion just to stay in the exact same place. Years, actual years, where your entire existence was organized around servicing something that doesn't care if you live or die as long as you keep paying. You've given the debt your 20s, your 30s, the decades where you were supposed to be building something, becoming someone, creating a life that felt like yours. And instead you've been maintaining someone else's profit margin, feeding an entity that will never say thank you, never say enough, never release you just because you've suffered long enough. The debt doesn't have mercy. It has terms and conditions. And you've been living inside those terms for so long you forgot there was supposed to be something outside of them. You see it in other people too now that you know what to look for. That flash of panic when the bill comes. That forced laugh when someone suggests doing something that costs money. That exhaustion that isn't about being tired, it's about being defeated by a system that's rigged from the start. You're all out here pretending to be okay, pretending you've got it handled, pretending the minimum payment is a choice and not a noose you tighten around your own neck month after month after month. And nobody talks about it. Not really. Because admitting you're trapped means admitting you failed, and this economy has convinced everyone that being poor, being in debt, being unable to escape is a personal moral failing instead of a structural inevitability. So you suffer in private. You age in silence. You feel your spirit calcifying while you maintain the performance of being fine, being functional, being just another person making it work. Except you're not making it work. It's making you work. The debt is making you work. And the payment for your labor isn't freedom. It's permission to stay trapped another month. The debt has stolen your ability to imagine a different future. That's maybe the deepest cut. You used to have dreams that didn't involve money. Things you wanted to do, places you wanted to go, versions of yourself you wanted to become. But the debt got in there and edited everything. Now when you think about the future, you don't see possibility, you see payments. You don't see adventures, you see interest rates. You don't see the person you could be, you see the balance you'll still owe when you're old, alone, and wondering where your life went. The debt has colonized your imagination, turned your mind into a calculator that only spits out the same answer. Trapped, trapped, trapped. And the minimum payment is the lie that makes it bearable, the small affordable monthly dose of false hope that keeps you subscribed to your own slow disappearance. You're not living. You're depreciating. Every month you lose value, not market value, soul value. The parts of you that used to believe things could be different, that used to feel excitement instead of dread, that used to think you mattered beyond your credit score. Those parts are dying. Not dramatically. Not all at once. Just slowly, quietly, in the background of your consciousness where you try not to look because looking means admitting that the person you were supposed to become is never coming back. The debt took them. Took their youth, their hope, their energy, their future. And what's left is you, older than your years, tired beyond repair, still clicking that button, still making that payment, still pretending tomorrow might be different even though you know deep in the part of yourself you can't lie to, that tomorrow is just today with a new date and the same inescapable weight. He's still sitting there. Screen glowing. Cursor blinking. The payment is due in 3 days and he already knows what he's going to do. He's going to pay the minimum. Again. Not because he's stupid or weak or irresponsible. Because the system doesn't offer him another choice that doesn't involve catastrophe. Miss the payment and everything collapses. Credit score, late fees, the fragile infrastructure of survival he's built on top of this debt. So he'll pay. He'll keep paying. And with every payment, another month of his life converts into interest. Another piece of who he could have been gets sold off to cover who he's forced to be. The debt isn't shrinking. It's metastasizing. Growing into spaces he didn't know it could reach. It's in his relationships now, the way he can't fully connect because part of him is always somewhere else, drowning. It's in his health, the way stress has become his baseline, the way his body is aging faster than it should because cortisol doesn't care about budgets. It's in his sleep, or lack of it, the 3 a.m. spiral sessions where he calculates scenarios that all end the same, trapped for years, maybe decades, maybe forever. The truth he's learned, the one that nobody wants to say out loud, is that the minimum payment is designed to keep you exactly where you are. Not to help you escape. Not to give you breathing room. To extract maximum profit from your desperation over the longest possible timeline. You're not a person to the debt. You're a revenue stream. And the minimum payment is the monthly subscription fee for staying alive inside a system that's slowly killing you. You can see it now, the full scope of it. All those people just like him, millions of them, all sitting in front of screens at 2 a.m., all making the same calculation, all choosing survival over freedom because freedom isn't actually on the menu. They're all aging together, invisibly, their youth being converted into quarterly earnings for entities that will never know their names. A whole generation getting older on the inside while the world tells them they're doing fine, they're being responsible, they're handling it. But handling it doesn't mean winning. It means not dying. And there's a Grand Canyon of difference between those two things. The minimum payment will be there next month. And the month after that. And the month after that. The debt doesn't end. It just continues like a subscription to your own suffering that you can't cancel because canceling means facing the full amount, and the full amount is designed to be impossible. So you stay subscribed. You stay trapped. You keep getting older in ways that don't show up in mirrors but show up everywhere else. In your voice, in your hope, in your ability to believe that life could be anything other than this endless loop of work, pay, survive, repeat. The debt is eating him alive, one minimum payment at a time. And the cruelest part is that he's the one feeding it. He's the one keeping it alive. Because what choice does he have? The debt has made sure there are no good choices, only variations of bad ones, and the minimum payment is the least bad option in a game designed to make sure you never stop playing. This is where the story stays. Right here. In this moment of clarity that changes nothing. Because clarity doesn't pay bills. Understanding the trap doesn't spring it open. He's still in debt. Still aging. Still clicking that button every month while pieces of his soul convert into line items on someone else's profit statement. The debt won't let go. Not today. Not next month. Maybe not ever. And that's the reality nobody wants to admit, that you can do everything right, make every payment, follow every rule, and still end up here older and emptier and further from freedom than when you started. The minimum payment isn't a bridge. It's quicksand. The more you use it, the deeper you sink. And he's been sinking for so long now that he can't remember what solid ground felt like. Can't remember what it was like to make decisions based on want instead of terror, to exist without this constant calculation happening in the background of every moment. The debt has become his operating system. And the minimum payment is the glitch he keeps paying to maintain. So he'll pay it. In 3 days. Then again next month. Then again. Each time trading a little more of himself for a little more time, not realizing until it's too late that time is the one thing he's actually running out of. The debt doesn't care about his revelation. Doesn't care that he finally understands the mechanism of his own imprisonment. The debt just wants what it's owed, which by design, is always more than he can give. And so the aging continues. Silent. Invisible. Devastating. Month by month, payment by payment, he gets older on the inside while the world keeps spinning and the balance keeps growing and the minimum payment keeps extracting pieces of a future he'll never get to live. This is the story. This is the reality. This is what the minimum payment actually cost. Not just money. Everything else. Everything that matters. Everything you were supposed to become before the debt decided you were worth more as a trapped, exhausted, aging source of revenue than as a free human being with dreams. If this hit different, if you felt seen in a way that hurt, you need to watch what I'm dropping next. It's about the one thing the debt doesn't want you to figure out, the exit they hide in plain sight. Click the video on screen now before another month disappears and you're still right here, still trapped, still paying for permission to stay in your own cage.